For everyone to sign in. And then also a reminder that this meeting is recorded and will be posted. And we're going to call this meeting to an order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Start off with the consent agenda. I forget every time.
You can just go
through it first and then.
You don't even really have to. You can even just have a motion on all the items unless somebody has a question on any of the items. You can just answer the motion.
Okay. All right.
I move to accept the consent agenda.
There you go.
Motion, second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussions, questions?
Just real quick on that Tyler Gordon thing, I'm going to ask Austin, how did it go? All right, were you there? Okay. I was there.
That one wasn't on this one, though. It was the wrong agenda.
I'm the wrong one.
I was like, that was on one. There's extra ones up there.
Never mind. Okay.
I just had a day talking for a second. So I was like,
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
I talked about this.
All right, I have a motion and a second. No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes to approve the consent agenda. Next, we are on public comment. This is the time for comment on public matters that are not on the main agenda. Members of the audience are encouraged to briefly address the trustees on an issue that is not on the agenda. The chairman and board will seek comments from the audience on significant items as they occur. Public matters do not include any pending legal matters, private personnel issues, or private student issues. Please do not attempt to address such issues at this time, or you will be ruled out of order. Ensure everyone has an opportunity to speak. Each speaker will be given a 2-minute time limit. Public comment.
Yes.
Please
Start
state.
the timer.
Yeah, I was going to say, do I need a time yet?
Right.
Maybe.
I just have a comment on.
Reminder, please state your name.
Oh, I'm Myrna Matulovich, and don't live in the district, but I have a state one because I'm a teacher at Smith School. My comment is just on the decision on August 20th to get rid of the old building and demolish it. And I would just ask that maybe the board reconsider that decision, or at least put it on pause so we can discuss some other options and think outside the box and maybe do something else. It just feels like we're giving up without having to fight. Bonds hardly ever pass the first time around, and we tried it once and it goes, oh well, let's just tear down the building. It just kind of feels like we're lost. Something else was said in about like maybe replacing it with modular or some other thing. I just think that is because of that Smith Valley School. If we turn the building down and replace it with some permanent portable or modular. If any parent lives on the west side of Kalispell, if they go drive to Marion School, they have a nice building. If they go drive to Tyler, they have two nice buildings. They can send their kids into Kalispell and West Valley, have more money than God. So, why would they send them to the current modular schoolhouses? It just feels like we're giving up. Maybe in the long term we're going to end up consolidating with some of these districts. I don't know. Maybe there's other funding sources we could look to. I would just ask at least you don't put it out for bid and pause until we can discuss it. That's it.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. Move on to administrator's report.
So good evening, thank you for coming to our meeting. So first thing, yesterday we took the teachers to a tribal PIR day in Rodan. There were more than 400 educators present, and it was quite an experience because it was their first in-person training that they'd had since COVID, so they were ironing out the kinks and we started late, but then the day went well. So I was glad we got to go. We saw a lot of fun things and learned a lot. Next thing, open house, and I talked about this at our last board meeting, is September 26th from 4 to 7:15 p.m. So in the newsletter, I sent a reminder. I did send a reminder. I'm sending another reminder this week too. Our schedule, we're still working on schedule, still doing a little bit of tweaks. graduation-wise, I would like for us this fall to finalize our graduate profile. So we did a lot of work on that last year, and I sent out a survey to the community and to all the staff. And I will give everyone a chance to resubmit their survey because their kids grow and they recognize changes and the need for change. And we have a lot of new families in our district, so seeking more input. And then I will schedule a PR committee meeting to work on the profile and summarize results after our October board meeting so we can get everything together and get that finalized for February. Regarding the portable, the Hot Springs portable, Jay and I just were out there on Friday, and they have it ready to go. It is disconnected, the water is disconnected, the sewer, the electric, it's all ready. It's empty. Jay and I went and got some file cabinets and bookcases and rugs and stuff like that, and we brought that stuff here. So it's ready. We just have to finish getting our sheds relocated here, which means finishing that gravel bed around the side of the building and getting that done, and getting the other shed up the hill, and we'll be ready to get it moved over. So I'm excited about that. I'm very excited, and I know that our counselor is very excited about that, so that's awesome. Next thing we have,
Can I
yes,
ask a
yes,
question to interrupt? Where,
Yes.
do you have a location? Did you say where the?
for the building right next to the gym.
Right down.
Yep. So we're getting those two sheds out here, and there's the right next to the gym.
Okay, thanks.
In a rough timeline? Do you?
I'm hoping for like the end of September, middle of October at the latest. So we just gotta get that gravel done so we can get the sheds out and then we can get the portable moved in. Yeah, so I'm very excited for that. Next thing, and Jay, maybe you wanna talk to this a little bit. We have that sinkhole up in the parking lot. Do you wanna talk about that?
I can. So Mr. Plow called me, his name is Scott. Mr. Plow called me today. He said, there's a sinkhole in the parking lot. We've had it before, I guess, before my time. But we thought maybe the water line was leaking, the main water line comes down. He come up with, it's probably would be a bigger hole if it was leaking. So they think it's just wasn't compacted right. So that's just a guess because they didn't dig it up. So we were afraid it was leaking and causing a hole again. But Mr. Plow doesn't think it's a leak.
No, I think probably it's because when we built that up there, that's all just big rock fill.
Okay.
So there's probably a bigger rock in that area, and the dirt's kind of working its way around. The more water we get, you know, it just, we'll just have to keep filling it.
So if we
until
did want to
stops.
fix it, we just have to dig it up and recompact it, I guess. And go
We
from there.
could,
Sounds like-
we take that chance of if there's, I mean, some of the rocks in there are like huge.
Right.
And so it's just a matter of time.
Are they coming up or is it a sinkhole? Is it?
It's going down, going down.
I think it's dirt coming around the rock, most likely. It probably didn't get compacted. It never should have been filled with that big a rock. They were trying to save money.
Oh, so they put big rock in there, like big rock. to fill.
Big rock, I mean, it's filled. It's like if you say, you know, clean fill dirt
Yeah.
and people just start dumping. That's basically what it was. It was just filled.
So we're working on exploring our options to get it repaired, because the last thing you want to do is have a really big, another sinkhole up there, so.
Yeah, it sounds like it, without using the, you know, listening to it, see if it's leaking or digging it up. I don't know for sure, but that's just a guess, and it's, you know, just sinking from like big rocks or something.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah, it's almost 12 feet deep.
And I haven't seen any water coming up anywhere, no, anything anywhere else, so, I'm assuming it's good. We don't have low pressure in our water, so I think it's, you know, just so we can sink.
I've got a question. A couple of years ago, we had a water meter installed, or was that a temporary solution maybe to monitor the water leaks? Is that still here? Was that removed?
I don't know.
So I don't know the answer. I can find out. Do you know,
Maybe it was just discussed and never actually installed that night.
Yeah, we haven't installed anything since I've been here, so.
So I can find out for you. And finally, I would like to make our buildings more secure. I'd like to get a buzz-in entrance over here in this building. So the front door, people would be buzzed in and then get another entrance to stop people from just coming in and just barging down the hallway and going wherever they want if they are in a mood. Okay, so I'd like to do that. And I'd also like to get this door right here so it can have a buzz-in so that we can see with the cameras, we can see kids that are coming in or going, and we can get them buzzed in safely and securely. So I would like to do that. So I had a guy come out and give us he's working on a price for what it would cost to get the buzz system in. And I had another guy come out today to give us a price on building a doorway entrance over there, another entrance on the side. So you have the main doors, then you have like a foyer and another entrance right here. They're both buzz in. But so when your people come in, they have to stop at the window. They can't just go wherever they want down the hall. And unfortunately, in our society, that is becoming a necessity all over the place. So,
Have you had that problem?
pardon?
Have you had that problem? Of people just coming?
We've experienced that a couple times, yes. Yeah.
A lot of it too, because I've worked on some of the quotes for it the past couple of years. We've done a couple different quotes, but it just wasn't in our budget at that time. A lot of it too is when it is really cold and the kids are outside, Mrs. Marquardt can see, if Kyla School had it, you can see right there at her desk who it is, buzzing right in. Nobody's left outside, it would be really, really, not just for the secure purposes that she's talking about, but just,
Well, I don't question the buzzer and the camera. My question is whether we really need the second set of doors.
We do, and I have to say that, like I said, the world that we live in, people are really uptight these days, and we do need that set of doors.
So I would agree with that on this. We definitely would, we would be wise to consider this. There's just, maybe safety concern, my own, that you just want to keep your staff and your students safe, because you're not sure like what somebody's mood might be, or what, they might want to tell somebody, or they need to be able to set up a meeting with the teacher, right? Or like, if they have, if there's, someone needs to run or take something really quick to a student, like we always need to have them sign in, right? But if the office is too busy, per se, then,
People turn the light outside.
yeah, and Trish is only one person, like, she can't be like, oh, hey, like, wait, while she's juggling 50 other things over here, right? And so, yeah, I've been in several other schools that have implemented this too, and I think it is super important to keep us and our students safe, like, and that's our main priority, right? Keeping our teachers and students, everything else safe within our building. Yeah.
So Dawn, are you talking like actual entrance, a whole new entrance on the outside doors?
No,
You're talking inside?
I'm talking inside.
Are you
So
talking
it's
just a
still-
set of doors?
Just a set of doors with a buzzer. So you have the outside buzzer and you have another inside buzzer.
Past the office,
Yep.
basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you
so
said you had a guy come and get
I
quotes?
had a gentleman come today and look at it.
I'd look at it.
Yeah, there are, in the valley, multiple schools that have that buzz-in system, and they have cameras and everything, which would be a part of that, so that you can see who's coming to your school. Some school districts take your identification every time that you go in, or like when I go to Evergreen, if I don't have my badge, they make me hold up my driver's license and they take a picture of it every time. I mean, it's a big deal, and the thing is we're getting more and more people, and you just don't know who's going to come through the door. It's a busy road.
The other thing is, like, I used to be able to stay here and feel comfortable being alone, staying here, and this is a different topic, but until like the other night, there was somebody that kind of came and was strolling around by my window, and I like took off down to make sure all the doors were locked, because it freaks me out to be here. I should feel safe, and right now I don't think that a lot of us feel really safe. But that's on a different note, but I do want you guys to know.
But for during the day too, it's about just making sure that teachers have their teaching time that's not interrupted. Just helping whoever our visitors are to know that they have to check in, and that if they need an appointment will be scheduled for them. But the security, I've just seen people just getting so uptight lately, and it's like, you know what? You may not just run down the hall and just march in and yell at somebody. You may not do that. It's not okay.
Okay. So we're waiting to hear back numbers,
Yep.
costs on
Yep.
those.
Yeah.
Mrs. Mack, can we look at, to piggyback off of what Ms. Hanson said, some type of film on the windows so we can see out, but they can't see in? I just know when Trish and I are here early in the mornings and it's dark and it's in the office, we can't see out our windows, but anybody could see in on us.
You can't see out those windows?
Out when it's dark, you can't see what's going on out there, no?
Oh, at nighttime, you mean?
Yeah. Well, no, morning.
Early morning.
All winter long.
Especially winter. Yeah.
But they can see it.
Yeah.
So, because I've tried to see in, like I've left a light on in the building, I've tried to see, did I close that door?
Oh, you can definitely see it.
So I haven't been able to see it.
If the lights are on,
When the lights are on?
anybody can see it, but we cannot see out. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
When it gets that time of day.
And that's like a film that gets put on, right?
So I think there are just tinted films where you can get like a privacy type of screen over like gym doors or office windows.
Yeah, I can check into that for you.
So,
I'll check into it. see what
Usually
you
when
think.
it's dark out and light inside, even those films
Yeah.
oh really?
don't
So
fully,
almost a mirror,
they don't fully
a mirror
mirror.
film then maybe or something?
I mean, you could get this,
But-
like the bathroom, the frost that makes you, so you can't see either direction, but that's not.
Maybe
But then, yeah,
it's still out. But
That I don't think.
it's just something that every time we've ended up being in there, sometimes her and I are working together in there, if it's a day off and everyone else is training or something, it's just us and it's just
Are
slightly
there
in there.
blinds? Are there blinds?
Irrigation rooms. have
There
them.
are. We like to be able to see out of the trees.
Right, gotcha, okay.
Yeah, it's
I was
just
just-
been a topic more than
Yeah, I'll
once.
check into that and find out.
Well, we're talking about safety.
Pointed
I'll
out
explore.
the window, you can't see through the window.
Yeah.
But I do think that we did a really good job at keeping the breezeway lit up. Like when we spent the safety money, it was really nice. We had that well lit. I think that maybe in the future, having everybody like out here would be nice, but, other than that,
So that's all I have. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We are on to our clerk's report.
Okay. All of the usual reports are attached. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get to them, but I got the expenditure budget entered at the last minute last week. So the revenue budget and the expenditure budget are both in the software, so I can run reports on both now, which is awesome. So you have those reports, and obviously they're very small percentages at the beginning of the year, as we would expect. You would hope that you have not blown your budget in September. That would be a problem. And then the last item, did you guys have any questions on any of the usual reports before I jump to the last one? Okay, so the last item was what you guys asked for at the last meeting, which is the summary of the incoming and outgoing out-of-district students, so that you guys can see that. Just for summary's sake, I can read some of it to our folks that are here. People haven't pulled it up, so. We have 37 kids currently, so this is current as of right now. Mrs. Marquardt and I worked on this together, so as of right now, we have 37 students that are from another district that are choosing to attend Smith Valley over their home district. And we have 61 students that choose to attend another district instead of staying here at Smith Valley. The majority of those are going to Kyla. As you can see on the list, we have 27 students that are choosing to go to Kyla, and 15 of their kids choose to come here. So I did talk to Mrs. Marquardt a little bit about this, because we've talked about this a lot at these meetings, and we've always said, you know, it's a wash, it's a wash. We've said that lots of times. And Mrs. Marquardt's comment to me was, it has been a wash, that this is not normal, that it isn't a wash anymore. I don't know when this happened, when we started being not a wash, but it's not anymore. So,
Did you get any feedback on the ones that left? Did any parents give any feedback on?
So I don't get, I've only gotten like one of those exit surveys returned, so people pretty much aren't. Some of them, quite a few of them, I think it's financial reasons. So, and some it's because they're having to live with another family, and then some of them they want more competitive sports, and some of them want music programs or they have band.
That's not why they're going to Kyla.
So, no, it's not why they go to Kyla.
Kyla, because Kalispell's, I mean, it is a wash. Kalispell's a wash, 12 and 13. Kyla's not a wash. I mean, there's,
Right.
yeah, and then at the bottom, I put our current enrollment numbers too. So last fall as compared to where we are right now. So, obviously we've got our work cut out for us.
Does anybody know just other schools in the valley trends as far as percentage of enrollments changing?
Well, I just met with some other superintendents today, and I know that Marion's down 30 students this year, so they're down to like 140 something. I mean, we're like at 190.
Yeah, and they were growing,
They were
and now all of a sudden they've turned the other direction
And
this
another
year.
one of the teachers I was with, she said they've lost 15 kids so for this year. Last week or 2 weeks ago, the second Wednesday of every month, we have a meeting with all of the superintendents in the valley, and the trend has just been just like this, just going down like this for like 10 years. So enrollment across the state is dropping, and more people are homeschooling. And I think one big turning point was COVID. I think that a lot of people figured out that they can homeschool their kids and they can make it work. So that was kind of some people decided that there was no way they're going to homeschool their kids. But I think that just thinking outside of the box, I think that some families wanting more family time and wanting to have that time for their kids to experience things as a family, some families are choosing homeschooling because of that.
And we try to get the homeschooling numbers too. Trish and I went back and forth and tried to put these on the report, but it was hard to get a good number of, like we could say who all is homeschooling or who went to homeschool this year. And we also rely on the county, the Flathead County Superintendent, to provide us with that information, and they aren't giving us that information this year. Trish has asked them for it multiple times and they're not giving it to us this time. So, yeah, they're not giving us the homeschool numbers, and they're supposed to, and they aren't. So Trish has contacted them multiple times, and we're having to go to the superintendent now and try to reach out to Cal, because we need to go above the person that we're.
and that's, I mean, that's fine. I mean, we're looking at 61 people that we want to go to our school.
Yes.
I want to question though, were those kids in our school and then left, or were they kids that were never in our school?
A mixed bag.
And the reason I ask is because my home district is Cayuse.
Yeah.
My children never attended Cayuse.
Right. Yeah, and that's a good
They went
question.
there kindergarten through.
Yeah, and I mean, I could
So-
I could sit down with Trish and we could pull those numbers
It's
too,
just
like
curiosity, because
how many of them.
Because I was always here, so the kids were.
That might be something.
So it's a curiosity, because I know that there were some kids that we never did have.
Yeah,
because they
and
were,
it's more, I mean,
you know, St. Matt's, Trinity, whatever, and those aren't on, unless you have included as Kalispell. But like St. Matt's and Trinity, the private schools,
they
I don't
are,
know if there are kids there now also.
that's a good question. So the private schools are not gonna be on this list,
Right.
because they don't fill out,
Right,
this
because
is
they're
just
private.
people that fill out the FT14s.
Okay, got it.
This is the out-of-district forms. So private schools brings up a whole nother,
Right, a whole different level.
a
because
whole
some of
other
those kids
level
are-
of that. And that, I don't even know how you'd get that data actually, because you'd have to know.
I don't know that you could.
The
I mean, I
kids.
just personally know some families that their kids have always been at St. Anne's. or
Correct.
always been, you know, so.
Not that they give it to you, but they
Yeah, I don't know.
would take that information when they take the kid in, they would know what district they
Like,
were
how
coming
many
from.
times, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Because I know this had to have taken me a long time to
Yeah, and I mean, it's good data to look into, like, who's going to St. Matt's, who's going to Trinity, who's going to Stillwater versus the kids that are here, and did they start going this year, did they start going last year, have they always gone there? But at the end of the day, I mean, Bob just kind of hit the nail on the head. We have 61 kids that are choosing to go to a different school. So we can chase all of that data down, which we can totally do, but is it going to give us any more information than what we already
It's just
have?
gonna raise that number one.
And our numbers have dropped since when? They've been dropping for the last 10 years, or they seem to be
No.
here with just the last
No.
couple of years?
So the first year that I was here, our enrollment was 226.
Yeah.
This is my 4th fall here, and we've gone down every year.
Yeah, when I started, it was like 206, I think, when I started working here.
Yeah. So, and before that, we were not using the 3-year average. So for budgeting purposes, we were not using the 3-year average. We were using the annual enrollment number when I first started here. So I know that our numbers were not trending down because we would have been using the 3-year average for budgeting purposes, and we were not. We are now, and will
And
be.
it's gonna continue, our budget's gonna continue to go down.
Yeah, and the problem with this one is this is year 3. So the problem with this year is this will now affect our 3-year average. We're gonna drop off that 226 number, which we were holding on to for dear life, because that number will move this year when we do budgeting. And we'll have that 206 number that Mrs. Matt mentioned will be our highest.
How far back do we have numbers?
I mean, can technically go get them as far back as we want to for a long time. We can pull them from OPI's information.
Pretty much like the last 20 years.
I don't know, I could be wrong, but I thought I recalled in 2018, it was trending down and then it went up, and then trending down again. So I'm just trying to gather as much information as.
But like I said, statewide, it's trending down just across the whole state. And I do believe, you know, listening to Rob Watson talk about it, I do believe that a lot of it is because of homeschool options. So I can do that for a variety of reasons. And sometimes they give it a shot and it doesn't work out and they send them back to school.
Okay.
Thank you for pulling
Yeah,
this together.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Clerk's report? No?
No, that
All
was
right,
it.
now we will move on to the action agenda. Personnel, any offer of employment is contingent upon receipt of satisfactory, following items are for consideration and possible action. First item, personnel, any offer of employment is contingent upon receipt of satisfactory criminal history background check and satisfactory drug and alcohol screening results. And for some positions, receipt of satisfactory pre-employment screening. First item, add 0.7 FTE, special education paraprofessional position.
So we are not able to meet the minutes with the paraprofessionals that we have because 2 of them are tied up with kitchen and other kinds of duties that take away from their instructional time, which we knew that going into it, but we've gotten a few more special ed students this year, so we need to hire 0.7 to be able to meet the minutes of the kids we have.
Okay.
And what's a 0.7 again? How many hours or days, or how does that go on, hours
It was 5.25 hours
a day?
a day.
How many special ed kids do we have?
I would take it off the kids.
It's the number of minutes.
So it's based off minutes?
It's based off.
And how many minutes are we at?
Oh, I can't even, so I wouldn't, I mean,
Thousands.
thousands. Like, I mean, yeah.
So is 0.7
I don't really know
enough,
that I want to
Tracy?
go into that.
Is 0.7 enough?
What? Yeah, for right now. Okay, sorry. Okay. The kids, like, you can have a kid that has like 50 minutes, right? So then you can have a kid that has
850
6,
minutes.
like, yeah, 8 or like full-time but it's not what.
So hypothetically, let's say you have 10 kids, you have 25 kids, you have 10 kids that need 2,000 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the rest only needed 50 or 100, hypothetically, just throwing spaghetti at the wall. So that 0.7 would be enough to take care of the needs right now this school year, or just for a couple of months?
Right now.
Right now, this is my intel.
Right now. Okay.
But if she gains another, if there's another IP, that
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is
So
my intel.
the way that the board would typically take care of this is you guys rift positions in the spring, right? You did a reduction in force of positions, not people, in the spring because we did not have the need for those positions any longer. So the superintendent is coming to the table now saying, we have had additional IEP minutes added to the caseload. Whether that's more students or more minutes, it doesn't matter.
Right.
There's more IEP minutes, and your superintendent, with the help of your special education teacher, work together to figure out exactly what the need for staffing is to cover those minutes. And that's what hits the board agenda for the board to review.
Well, that's what I'm just trying to figure out, because we obviously just looked, we're down to 180 kids.
Doesn't matter.
So I understand.
Special
especially-
education program.
Right, no, I know. So I understand the special need gets high priority, first priority, I get that. And by law, yes. I just want to know, is there something we can do better for scheduling?
No.
So you need people.
Yes.
We like minor changes, but that we've worked that through, like we
Okay.
have like.
Good question.
that-
Yeah, no, I'm
that
just
goes
trying
with
to,
great question.
because, yeah, we had to cut positions, and we had to get
And
everything in
that's-
line, so
Right,
I'm
so
just,
like, are we
yeah.
adding when it's,
And that's why it's
exhausted
not-
all the other options?
Right,
And that's why it's not a full-time position, is because we're able to kind of like
move it.
jump here, jump there.
But
and-
my concern is it enough? Is it going to be enough? Or are we gonna be back here in another
Month.
month?
Yes, we will.
Saying
You might be.
we need more?
We're all gonna be here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I hope you guys
We're
will.
more likely to get good people applying if we offer I mean, we're only 0.3 away from a full-time position.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, would it be better just now to look at it and put a full-time position on? So if we do get more students,
Then
we're
already
taking care of it.
So I have a question.
I mean, is that-
That's a lazy question.
But yeah,
It's a
that's what I'm
budgeting
saying.
question.
We don't
That's
have,
not-
do we have, in an ideal world, maybe.
Right, and that's the question for Lacey is, do we have title money that we can,
So
Move
it's
into
not
that.
title, but
It's not title.
It's not title.
can use?
Can't use title money.
To address the 0.7, and if that might be worth it, I do think that right now in this climate, a lot of people, it's not uncommon to have 2 jobs or another part-time
Right,
job.
no, I
I'm
understand.
doing a 0.75, so in my opinion, I think it's worth it. I want to be here.
And we want her.
Yeah,
But it is a fair question. I just think that if you're asking me, I think it's worth it. and
If you
it
don't
could
know
be
who
something.
this is Shay. She's our new counselor.
You were supposed to introduce her when you
All right, so I'll take a motion. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, we should have a motion before we're talking about it.
Well, we don't have to because we have it listed as discussion and possible actions. So we
Okay.
we don't have to make a motion first.
Well, I still have this, where are we at? Could we do a full-time? Or would it really mess us up? I just have this feeling we're gonna be back here in a month or two, doing the same thing.
The problem, Bob, is we're not prognosticators. We can't tell what the
No, I know
future
that.
says. And so this
I
is
know
what we
that.
know we need right now. And yeah, to be honest, in a month, we get a family of 5
Right.
come in and every single one of them has to have something like we.
Well, and on the flip side of that, we could have a kid move out.
And we could have a kid come out
And
and
then-
changes, like, it's.
Right.
And then we're cutting.
I don't have a
And
crystal ball,
the
so.
business of what you're in as a business as a board is to deal with the changes as they come. And this is where we're at right now. I mean, quite truthfully, is it gonna be one person filling 0.7? Is it gonna be 2 people? Because we have to figure out how to fill it with whoever applies. I mean,
Based on our
There's no
AP,
solutions.
based on our budget, based on where you guys are and being fiscally responsible, I think you're in a position to only add exactly what you need when you need it. And
Okay.
if that's a part-time position, it's a part-time position.
I'd feel more comfortable hiring a part-time and then coming back to the table and asking that individual if they could do an extra 0.3 if that is the exact need, as opposed to the opposite of hiring a 1
second that. Okay, first and second, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, Josh, you'll abstain from this one. Hire Jay Hunt as fiscal year 25, 5th and 6th boys basketball coach.
She's not here to ask us if we're doing it.
She's at football practice with the other kid.
I moved to hire Jessica as 5th and 6th. I was really hoping she'd do 7th and 8th.
I'll second that motion.
Have a first and a second. Any further discussion?
What are we doing for 7?
Will we advertising for it?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, I've got a motion, or I'll take a motion for Jay Hunt, fiscal year 25, and 6 boys basketball coaching contract. I'll take a motion still.
I moved to approve the contract.
Let's make it.
Got a first, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Hire Jay Getting as gifted and talented coordinator for fiscal year 25. $2,173 stipend. Take a motion.
Just so you know, this is a part of a matching grant for that Gifted and Talented.
So this isn't taken out of our budget at all?
Correct. It's a grant.
And it's also a requirement, accreditation requirement.
I was just curious where the number came from.
So because we got a grant, the salary part of the grant was like $4,836 or something like that. And so dividing it between the 2 coordinators, that's where that money comes from. So the total grant was $8,145. So our part of it also was $8,145. So
I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to hire Jay Getting as the gifted and talented coordinator for fiscal year 25.
I'll second that. First and second, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I'll take a motion to hire C. Digley as gifted and talented coordinator for fiscal year 25, $2173 stipend. I'll take a motion.
We'll make a motion to hire Cindy Daly as gifted and talented coordinator for fiscal year 25.
Second that. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I'll take a motion to hire C. Hanson as IEFA coordinator, fiscal year 25, $1,000 stipend.
I'll make a motion to hire C. Hanson as IEFA coordinator fiscal year 25.
I'll second that.
What is IEFA?
Indian Education for All.
Thank you.
Again, another accreditation. So having the coordinators is a part of this requirement too.
Also funded by that same grant. Or
Different grant.
Grants.
Different program.
All right, any further discussion?
You should come talk to Kim. She's got stuff for them.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Take a motion to hire L. Gildrich as fiscal year 25 after school Puddle Jumpers Club assistant.
I move we hire Lindsay Eldridge as fiscal year 25 after school puddle jumper club assistant.
second that.
Any further discussion?
Real quick on that, how are we sitting so far this year? Has it been successful? Has it been?
It's too early.
It's too early still?
Too early because this.
Well, I mean with kids, there's a lot of kids in there.
Well, this, no.
So no, not yet, but this is always a really slow, volleyball's really slow. When
Okay.
basketball starts, that's when people pick up like crazy.
This month, as far as like for budgeting purposes, because this is the September meeting, so it's the August numbers.
Right.
So I don't really have any data to give you on PJ Club from August, because we didn't start school until after that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Take a motion for L. Gedrich, fiscal year 25 after school Public Jumpers Club assistant contract.
I'll make a motion for L. Gilbridge fiscal year 25 after school Public Jumpers Club assistant contract.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay. Next, we are on to correspondence. No any correspondence? Any special discussion?
I guess I could, how dress furnace concerns. Rick and I were talking one day and he said the one way to get maybe into a position where we could not have to make so many code, it would be if,
Bob, I'm going to pause you here because I don't think we're not allowed to address it right now at this time for public comments.
but that's special discussion. I mean,
Yes, but we can't address public comment
In the
in
meetings.
this meeting.
Correct.
It would need to be an agenda item.
Unfortunately.
well, I'm not asking for any kind of action on it, but so
Understand, we're advised not to
address.
speak to any public comment. So,
Just to clarify, the reason is because it violates open meeting laws. So it's not against anybody or anything. It's also why I should almost remove special discussion and correspondence from the agenda when we don't have an item on the agenda, because we shouldn't have there isn't anything to talk about if we didn't put an item under special discussion. Which is probably what I should have said to you earlier today when you asked me about that.
sure.
I can start doing that if that would help.
Okay. All right. That concludes our meeting. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you everyone for coming.